Hi guys, Kevin at Bear Creek Honey again. It's snowing to beat hell outside. It is New Year's Eve, so Happy New Year to everybody. I hope your beekeeping season is a good one. More projects underway. Not a lot to do today. So I decided to finish up a project that I had started. If you saw my one of my earlier videos, I took six 1x12s and my little partner here is my pup is fighting with me. I took six 1x12s and a sheet of 1/2 inch BS sanded or BC sanded plywood, and I cut them down, and I made oh geez. I took six 1x12s and a 1/2 inch 4x8 sheet of plywood, BC sanded is what it was, and I turned those into four 10 frame deep bottom boards. I also turned them into two 5 frame nuke bottom boards and four 10 frame tops and two 5 frame tops, and then also had some left over to make two medium super boxes, all for $50. That's not so bad. But today what I wanted to do was I started this off. I started off today. I was going to cover my my top boxes with aluminum and and so I started doing that, and I stopped the project sort of in the middle of it because I got to doing some thinking about this. Now I love these covers. These covers are perfect. This keeps the water out and everything. The downside to this and putting this aluminum on is that now I can't use my top board to put a bucket feeder on top. If I was, if I wanted to, right now I could probably take this top box. I could cut a 3/4 inch hole in it, and or I think it's 1.5 inches. That's what my plugs are, 1 1/4 inch, 1.5 inches. I can't remember, but whatever those little yellow plugs are, I could core a hole in there and just stick that in. If that was the case, then I'd have to just paint this entire surface so that this weathers right. Now this is plywood, and it should last me quite a while. By putting the aluminum on, these top boards will last 25 years. I'm just not sure if by just painting it and putting that hole in, how long these will last, and that's kind of my conundrum. Another one is that if I cover these hives with this aluminum, then in order to feed my bees in let's say early spring when it's cold out, I want to put a bucket on because I want to get the feed. You can't use a hive top feeder, you can't use a hive top feeder in the spring because they won't break cluster to come up and go get the feed if it's cold out. Okay, if they, you have to put the feed almost directly on top of them so that the cluster can sit there, and then just the top bees will come up and suck any sugar water out. They don't actually have to crawl up and break their cluster where they're warm to get to access the feed. So that's the conundrum. But if I use these, then I have to utilize when I put the bucket on top of my inner cover hole, then I have to utilize a 10 frame box to put over that that inner cover, and then I can place this on top. That's all well and good if you just have a ton of excess equipment. So I kind of, I'm going to be doing, I got a lot of my hives right now are doubles this year, and I'm not sure that I'm going to be pulling them apart. So I don't know how many deep boxes I'm going to have extra to start the year. So I just, when you start doing these projects, you've got to determine what you have for equipment, what you want to do, and how you want to go about doing it. But this video in itself, I just wanted to show you how I made these little this little aluminum lid. I haven't secured this one down yet, actually, but that's all there is to this. It's just a sheet of rolled aluminum, 20 inches wide. They come in sheets, rolls, and I just cut it to size, and then I used it's a sheet metal seamer for seaming and making seams on ductwork sheet metal. And this thing costs about 30 bucks, I think, online on Amazon. This was my father's. He's had this one for 50 years, and when he got too old to use tools anymore, he gave him the tools. And I'll be honest with you, when I first got it, I didn't even know what the hell this thing was. But it sure really works well for this project in general, and I'll show you how that works, because I have some spare of this roll, this sheeting, and I'll show you how I put this together. You don't have to have that seaming tool. You can just bend the sheeting around your hive. Top of the box is 18 3/8, and I believe it is 20, was it 23? 22. 22 inches long. So it's 18 3/8 wide. The roll comes in a 20-foot roll, so or 20 inch, I should say, 20 inch wide. And it was 18 3/8 is your box, and you want to have an edge on your box, so that leaves 3/16 or 13/16 on each side as your fold over. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is I use a Sharpie because it just seems to be easier. The first thing you want to do is mark these at 13/16 in two places. Now, what we want to do is we want to get our measurement, and I already actually measured this one essentially based on the last one I did, and that measurement is 23 5/8. So there you go, and then so you want to measure 13/16 on this as well. Okay. Now you want to use any straight edge. You can make your lines actually how you see fit. Okay. Now, what we're gonna do, you can use I couldn't find my, you can use a utility knife, or any knife will work. So what we do is, I just put put a straight edge down on your furthest line. So we want to cut this, and all we're doing is scoring the metal. All right. Oops, I think it moved a little bit on me. Okay. So we've scored the metal a little bit here. Now we're going to just bend down that line. You can find this this rolled aluminum in a hardware store at the in the roofing section. Now that we've got our piece of aluminum here, we can start bending it. Now with this tool, you can kind of see that it's got little I guess you could say locking mechanism on each side, and if you put the tool up like that, it will actually lock this in place. So in order to work this more easily, so it doesn't slide back into place while you're working it, it's better to use this tool when it's upside down, and that way it will always open up for you however you need it. So all we do, this takes really no time at all, is put the seamer directly on the line, the 3/16 inch line, 13/16 inch line that you previously did, and just bend it up 90 degrees, and overlapping the previous bend. That you did, and you just continue it down. Oop. And it doesn't have to be, you know, dead nuts perfect or anything, but this hand seamer really works pretty decently for you, actually. Alright, and we just move over and we do the same thing here. Okay, so we got our top made. All right. Grab our hive box here. Now, again, like I said, if you don't have this seamer, what you can do is just put those lines on this and just lie it flat on there and just bend right along those lines that I showed you earlier. Okay. Now along the edges, what you can do is fold those so that that seam comes to a point, and you can crimp that down with a pair of pliers or anything, however you want, just like that, and then this just gets folded over on this end, and then I just nail it. All right. Let's get this back on. Okay, this one didn't come out quite right. I don't know why. I know why. Really smash it down. There we go. And then I'm going to fold that over. So okay, there's your hive. There's your aluminum lid for your hive top, and then all you do from there is literally just nail it in place. I don't know why this one. Okay. Just staple. Uses some 5/8 inch staples to quarter crown staples, and just staple this in. That's it. That's all there is to it. This one wasn't as clean as my first one, but you sort of get the point. You got any questions on this? Let me know. Jury is still out for me as to whether or not I'm going to cover them all, or just paint them, or like I said, I'd love to just dip them. It's one of those conundrums that you have to assess, what you have for equipment, and do what works best for you. These sure look nice, and they're not going to allow any water in your hives ever. But there's a downside to literally everything that you do. Till next time, happy beekeeping. I'm also still putting together a group for bee chat. This is not something that's going to be recorded and going online. This is just for a group of upper Midwest beekeepers with a little bit of experience to talk shop, as it were, and share ideas and knowledge and network a bit. I've got a few people that are shown interest so far, but looking for a few more, to be honest. And if you're interested, don't forget, send me an email at Bear Creek Honey, WI, at gmail.com.